Hello there, world of tankers. Welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Droodles Blitz, and in today's video, I'll be playing in the Tier 10 Swedish Tech Tree Heavy, the Kranvan. This is a vehicle I have not reviewed in a very long time, probably over a year. And the simple reason why is because the playstyle hasn't changed at all. If you watched my review on this vehicle 5 years ago when it came out versus today, it would basically be the same advice. I mean, sure, the gun works a little bit differently. Now, if you dump the clip, you lose DPM, but the overall gist of the tank is find a ridgeline and congratulations, you're not going to be penned. And even today, the vehicle still holds that title. In fact, I'd actually say the armor's even stronger due to the fact that calibrated shells got nerfed, meaning all vehicles have effectively less penetration. Now, the Kron itself also has less pen, only sitting at 332 mils of heat, which means that if you're running enhanced armor on something like an E100 or a mouse, it's going to be rather tricky to reliably cut through that vehicle. But on the other hand, because the Kron also technically got a buff to its turrets, now basically no tank destroyers have the ability to cut through you if they fire heat as a premium shell. The Kron's interesting because you actually have a lot of damage per minute, around 2,650. That's really good DPM, especially when you realize you have 3 shells, which are each dealing 410 damage. That is 1,230 damage with a 2.7 second interclip. So about 5.5, 5.4 seconds. And you're able to deal 1,230 damage with 9 degrees of gun depression and pretty good mobility, super speed boost, 18 kilometers per hour in reverse, and you even get reticle Cali, meaning that your gun is surprisingly accurate. If you add all of those things together, I am willing to argue that the Kron is easily one of the dumbest tier 10s. It honestly needs a nerf, and I'm very adamant in this. I know that there are some people that don't want to see this tank get nerfed. Maybe you enjoy playing it a lot, but as I've said in the past, nerfing a vehicle doesn't mean ruining it, right? You can reduce the DPM of this tank, or what a lot of my friends and I have been saying is turn it into an autoloader. You can keep the 2600 DPM, but why does it need to be an auto reloader? Make it so that when you dump the clip, you're able to then push it, right? Make the intra-clip longer, and you can make the overall reload shorter. There are many options you can do to balance this tank out. Just right now, the Kron is definitely... it's pretty OP. I mean, the fact that I have a 77% win rate with over 1,000 games in this thing, and that's before it even got buffed to the state that it's in, should really put into your mind the capabilities of this vehicle. So the first thing we're going to do is move to this crossing right here, and we'll see if we can detect any heavies. They do have 4, so it's not unheard of to see them in the crossing, and there you go. Get a shell into the 101s. Oh, not really sure how that didn't pen, but there you go. We still absolutely ruined that E100. What's interesting is we didn't get any assistance, even though I feel like we are kind of directly responsible for that player being spotted, but either way, his game is essentially over at this point. You generally don't want to sit in the open, just basic advice, right? We have the Skoda T27, and I'm waiting for my shell. Boom. There you go. There's 450. Boom. There's another 440. And that Skoda's game is basically over. You can see how we've already been able to output 1,700 damage within the first minute of this game, and now we simply reload. We've already got our first shell back, and the thing about the Kron is you get the shells back faster and faster as you wait. So we are going to be gaining DPM simply just waiting for our shells to come back. We have the enemy 752. Let's aim it on his lower plate, and 3, 2, 1, boom. There you go. 395 into the 752. I'm actually shocked at that pen, to be honest. We have the Skoda shooting me. Oh, well, there goes that player. Wow, that Skoda actually took a lot off of us. I don't really care. I mean, I still have 2,000 health left, because for some reason this tank also gets a ridiculous amount of hit points. But either way, I guess it's fair. I did take about 800 off of that Skoda as well. Let's see, the Kampfpanzer is going to run, which means we can head over here, and we can get 1 shell into the rear of the KPZ. 2 shells, he's out of the game, and I'm not even going to waste my shell on the Skoda. It's going to nuke my damage per minute, which is a bad play on my part. So let's head over towards the enemy Yag, the 114, and see what we can do. There's the Yag right in front of us, and let's aim in, put on reticle Cali. Are we spotted? No. Let's go for the hatch. Dang, that shell was very close, but unfortunately, no cigar. Alright, well, let's head in. We tried to use our Reticle Cali, but obviously we weren't able to take advantage of it on that Yag. But either way, we already have our shells reloaded. And the thing about the Kron is that it's not actually that slow, right? I mean, it's got a top speed of 34, which isn't great, but it doesn't really matter that much. It's still a fairly mobile tank, and you're still not really going to struggle. There's 407 into the enemy 114. And if we just reload the shell, this will be our most effective DPM output. So aiming on that 114 again. Boom, there's 360. Boom. That player's out of the game, which leaves us with 2 tanks. We have the enemy Jagdpanzer, which I would love to be able to shoot, but 7.52 is kind of getting in my way. I don't really care if the Jag hits me, to be honest. We're going to aim in. Okay, the 7.52 needs to not block me. There's 420, and boom. There's another 280. Now we're going to put on my speed boost, and I figured that the girl was AFK, and indeed he is. So I'm going to go head into the spawn, and we're going to try and deal a bunch of damage. But I think you've already seen why the Kron is such a silly vehicle. The clipping potential of this tank, I mean, we're already up to 4,700 damage. It's just the fact that the gun is still accurate. You have crazy DPM if you use the gun correctly, and it's not like this tank is slow. It's not like it doesn't have hit points. It's got everything going for it. Alright, let's head over here and let's see if we can get some shells into the grill. There is 460, and then the most effective way to use the DPM on this thing is to wait for our shell to come back really quickly, and there is 1, and there is 2, and there is 3. That is 6,466 damage. I like how the Sama says negative. What did you want me to do? Just not shoot the grill? What do you mean? I'm taking advantage of that free damage every day of the week. So there you go. Our first game in the Kron today was a 6,500 damage battle. We assisted 1,700 by tracking the E100 and spotting tanks for the rest of our team, and we even aced it. What an absolutely brain-dead battle. Obviously, farming an AFK grill is very lucky, and I will gratefully accept the 1,800 damage at the end of the game. But that still does not discount the other damage that I dealt, the 5,000. And even if that grill was a real player, I still would have easily been able to tear them apart at the end of the game, because I had enough health and I had a full clip. The best way to use the Kron's DPM is, as you saw on the 114, shoot once, keep your other 2 shells in the barrel, and then reload once. That's going to give you about 2,650 DPM. So pretty good damage per minute. In the past, the Kron used to gain DPM when dumping the clip. And honestly, I think that was more balanced than what it is currently. Because currently, you have the most DPM if you shoot and reload, and then you can keep those 2 extra shells. In other words, if something wants to push you, you can effectively sit at around 2,600 DPM, and then when the tank becomes a low, within 1,200 hit points, you just reload that 3rd shell, bam, 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 dead. The previous Kron, you would have dumped the clip first, and then you would have been sitting at, it used to be about 2,200 DPM if you dumped the clip, and it was like 2,100 DPM if you didn't, but for some reason Wargaming decided to just buff it. So it's very weird. I don't know why the Kron ever got a DPM buff. Where are we going, E6? You're in a mobile heavy, you should be going this way. Alright, well, let's see what we can do. We have a 183 who is not supporting the rest of the team. It's even more shocking when you realize that is a 3-mark player. Like, at the end of the day, your role in a tank destroyer is to support your teammates. Alright, what do they have? TVP, and then a bunch of heavies, and a bunch of tank destroyers. Okay, well, we are going to start by moving down the road here. And we already have our T100 capping. We have the E100 spotted. Okay. I'm just going to play pretty aggressive because while they obviously do have tank destroyers, I'm not that worried about them sitting in the back. I think the best play I can make right now is to cut this E100 off and try and farm him out. So we're going to do that. E100 gets hit once. And let's head over here. Let's put on my Reticle Cali. There's 418. There's 426. And boom. There you go. That is 1,171 damage. I mean, tell me that's not stupid. And the E100 fires HE and does, ooh, 200 damage in return. He really got us good. Like, the gun on this tank is just ridiculous. And the thing is, again, we just reload. So if we wait for our shells to come back, we'll actually have still pretty effective levels of DPM. So there you go. That's the second shell. And we have the third back in just a moment. Our teammate dies, which isn't that surprising. We have the E6. There's 399. There is 416. There's another 378. And because this vehicle gets super speed boost, look at how fast we can reverse this thing. I mean, sure, the E6, never mind. He doesn't even get the shell into me. Okay, I'm not going to use a repair kit. I'm just going to wait. We'll be able to back into cover before... Oh, well, the TVP's going to hit me, but that's fine. We still have plenty of health left, and we just need to reload our shells again. That's all we got to do. We have the Yo over here, which is a big threat, but not really to me. We just got to reload for 3 more seconds. 2, 1, and boom. There's 1 shell into the Yo. 2 shell... Oh, okay, we got absolutely trolled on that one. We got the TVP in the back. TVP hits me once, but because this vehicle's so small, we can just hide it in this little gap here. Now, our team, on the other hand, they are quite bad. Our team is horrible. There's not much you can do about a bad team, is there now? So, we're just gonna try and reload again. We need to take out this Yo as quickly as possible. Alright, I need to reload, and boom. Okay, Yo is out of the game. TVP hits me once, twice, and goodbye, guys. Yep. There's nothing you can do about bad teammates. I mean, we did a pretty good job. I did 4,000 damage, even in this game. This battle is over. It hasn't even been 3 minutes on the clock yet, so I don't know what the heck our team was doing, but we did a really good job. We bled out the E6, we bled out the E100, we took over 1,000 off of the enemy TVP, and honestly, we got kind of trolled on that Yo. If our shell had penned the side of the Yo, which it should have, we would have been able to kill him, saving us about 470 hit points, and I would have been able to then probably reload more shells and take out the enemy TVP. Unfortunately, RNG does exist in this game, and sometimes it doesn't help you out. Either way, still a pretty stupid battle nonetheless. I genuinely will struggle to do a bad game in the Cron. Like, I believe that it would be hard for me to do under 3,000 damage in this tank in the current state that it sits in. The tank is unfair. And, as I said, I'm sure there's going to be people that say, oh, Droodles, you're just crying. I'm telling you that when I 3-mark this tank, it will be the easiest 3-mark of my life. It will not even break a single sweat. It's why I haven't done it yet. I've been saving some of the brain-dead 3-marks for last. So, let's do one last game in the Cron here, and we're going to make our way over towards Base C, as our Contra Caro did say. I'll even ping for our team to go over that way. And 3, 2, 1. Alright. Let's activate our speed boost. Unfortunately, we did get the bad spawn, but it doesn't really matter all too much. One of the things I can give you as advice is shoot down these 3 little structures in front of you. It's going to save you a lot of speed. If you drive over those, each one slows you down. So to save your momentum, just shoot one of them, and it'll make it a lot easier to get through. We have the enemy Progetto in the crossing, and it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to hit them. Yeah, no, definitely not going to be able to hit them right now. Are we spotted from that prog? No, we are not. And there is the enemy E6. There's 416 damage into that player. We have the enemy Minnow, which we get 368 into. And just like that, we've got to where we want to be. This is the ultimate position to play a Cronin, because we can sit hold down, and hopefully my team supports me. There's only one way to find out, but we have to reload for 1 more second. 3, 2, 1, and there is 1 shell into the side of the 752. Ooh, good job, Minnow. There's 513 off your tank. Alright, I did shoot into my second shell, but we needed to give him a warning shot. We need to keep these players off of me. In fact, I'm going to be smart about this. I'm just going to back up a little bit over here. There's no way that Minnow hit that. I'm sorry, that's complete bogus. But either way, let's reload just a little bit longer. And let's see what the C100's big brain plan is. Boom. Oh, we got robbed. Alright, let's reload again. We got the 6 up top. He gets hit. Nice. We're just going to wait for my reload again. And this time, boom. There you go. 360. Oh, the Minnow. Good job. So we're just going to throw our game away to tunnel me? Is that what we're going to do? Cool. Good stuff, my guy. Goodbye. I genuinely believe that people have no brain cells. Like, I don't understand how that player thought they were going to be rewarded for that. I really don't. Alright, well, we're going to move up, and we'll see if I can get some damage into the 100. Let's aim in, and boom. For the people that say, oh, the pen nerf, you know, it hurt the Cron. Did it? Did it really hurt the Cron? Because I don't appear to be struggling all that much right now. We have the E6, but I'm not going to waste my DPM. We only have a couple shells left, so let's aim it on that E6, and let's just keep waiting. Come on, 3, 2, 1, and here we go. Boom, there you go. 420. Oh, okay. That was literally a perfect shot. That was the most beautiful shell I could have fired. Alright, well, the Contracaro and the rest of our team is really, really struggling to pen the C100. We are going to aim it on his lower plate, get 406, and aim it again, another 389, and that puts us up to 4,300 damage. As I said, it is genuinely challenging for me to have a bad game in this tank. There are many vehicles in the game that I have had bad games in. This is not one of. I don't think it's possible to have a bad game in this vehicle if you know what you're doing. The fact that you have a 1,230 damage clip, you have 2,660 health, you have DPM, you have mobility, you have an impenetrable turret when using gun depression. Notice how the enemy didn't even try to counter me unless they YOLO'd over the ridge like that enemy Minnow. I cannot believe that Minnow did that to begin with, by the way. That was a 3-mark player with a 63% 30 day, and they drove over the ridge, tried to kill me. Maybe they knew who I was, and they thought, gee, if this Kron's able to sit here, they're gonna win, but that was a really bad play from that Minnow. Either way, the Kron is ridiculous. I'm sorry. There's a reason why I have 3,500 average damages in this vehicle with a 77% win rate for 1,100 games, and that was before the vehicle got more DPM, more mobility, better accuracy, and even AP standard. The tank is simply put overpowered. So if you want to abuse the Kron, I would recommend grinding it and playing it now, because I'm hoping at some point Wargaming does eventually nerf this tank. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.